War isn't just fought on battlefields with soldiers and weapons. It's also fought in our living rooms, on our phone screens, and inside our own minds. This is the world of psychological warfare, the art of shaping what you believe, what you fear, and what you feel, often without you ever realizing it. Every headline you scroll past, every viral video you watch, is a potential piece of this invisible puzzle, designed to guide your opinion. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on how media, emotion, and power collide in ways that define our modern world. Psychological warfare, or psyops as it's often called, isn't new. Ancient generals knew that a well-placed rumor could be as devastating as an army. They faked retreats, spread lies, and used symbols to break their enemy's spirit. The goal was always the same: win the battle in the mind before you even set foot on the field. But today, that battlefield has expanded. It's no longer just about soldiers. It's about civilians, voters, and entire populations. Modern technology has given these ancient tactics a global megaphone. Governments and other powerful groups now use everything from news reports to social media posts as tools to manage public perception. This creates a serious ethical dilemma. Sometimes managing information can prevent panic or even save lives. But where is the line between protecting the public and deliberately deceiving them? That line is incredibly thin, and as citizens, we're often left trying to figure out if what we're seeing is a fact, a carefully crafted interpretation, or a strategic message. Think back to the lead-up to the Iraq War in 2003. The narrative was built around the imminent threat of weapons of mass destruction. Official statements and media coverage created a sense of urgency that shaped public opinion worldwide. Later, we learned that the reality was far more complex, a mix of intelligence failures and deliberate framing. It's a powerful example of how psychological operations can manufacture consent, not just overseas, but right here at home. And then there's propaganda. It's not just old-timey posters anymore. Today's propaganda is supercharged by social media algorithms. These algorithms are designed to show you content that gets a strong emotional reaction. A single image or a shocking headline can spread like wildfire, creating powerful feedback loops that reinforce a particular narrative. This is where it gets really complicated. We are all part of the machine. Every time we share, like, or comment on a piece of content, we're participating. Our engagement is both the target and the fuel for these campaigns. We become agents in a system that's shaping us, often without our knowledge. Let's look at some real-world examples. During conflicts in Afghanistan and Syria, both governments and non-state groups dropped leaflets, ran radio broadcasts, and posted online messages. Their goals were to encourage soldiers to defect, convince locals not to resist, or build their own legitimacy. At the same time, governments back home were using media coverage to maintain public support for their military operations. The information war was being fought on multiple fronts simultaneously. And now, technology is taking it to a whole new level. We're entering the era of deepfakes and AI-generated content. How can you trust what you see when a video can be perfectly faked? Our own biases make us vulnerable, and algorithms trap us in echo chambers where these manipulations are amplified. The very idea of truth is under assault. It is crucial to understand that psychological warfare isn't just something that happens over there. In democracies where public opinion is king, domestic audiences are a primary target. Strategic messaging can influence elections, shape public debate, and build support for controversial policies. This creates a constant tension between the need for national security and the principles of a transparent, democratic society. The media is caught in the middle of all this. Most journalists work hard to report the facts, but the very act of choosing which stories to cover, how to frame them, and what words to use inevitably shapes perception. In times of crisis, the line between informing the public and influencing them becomes incredibly blurry. This is why strong, independent journalism is one of our most important defenses. At its core, psychological warfare targets our emotions. Fear, anger, hope. These are the levers used to guide our actions. In a conflict, these emotions can drive recruitment or resistance. In politics, they determine how we vote and whether our society stays united or becomes polarized. The battle isn't for our rational minds, it's for our hearts. History shows us just how powerful this can be. During World War II, massive propaganda campaigns shaped how entire nations viewed their enemies and themselves. Posters, radio shows, and films created carefully managed narratives to boost morale and justify the fight. These campaigns left a deep mark on national memory, influencing how those conflicts are remembered even today. The main difference now is the sheer scale and speed. Social media gives these campaigns instantaneous global reach, and because we can interact with the content, we're no longer passive recipients. We actively help spread and reinforce the messages. The cognitive battlefield is everywhere and it never sleeps. This forces us to ask some tough moral questions. Is it ever okay to manipulate public perception to achieve a strategic goal? When does influence become coercion? And how do we protect our freedom of thought without compromising security? These aren't just academic questions. They have real-world consequences for our rights and our society. This world of psychological influence is tangled up with misinformation and disinformation. Intentional lies, half-truths, and facts taken out of context are all used to create a distorted reality. The result is an environment where trust is eroded, and it's almost impossible to know who or what to believe. So what can we do? The most powerful defense is awareness. We need to become more critical consumers of media. We have to develop the habit of questioning narratives, checking sources, and understanding our own biases. In a way, engaging with information thoughtfully is a form of resistance. It's how we protect our own minds. The stakes couldn't be higher. If we ignore this, we risk supporting unnecessary conflicts, accepting the erosion of our rights, and being trapped in cycles of fear and division. Democracies are especially vulnerable because when our consent is manufactured without our awareness, the whole system begins to break down. This is why the work of investigative journalists, researchers, and scholars is so vital. By exposing these patterns of manipulation, they give us the tools to see what's happening. Transparency and public education build our collective resilience. Ultimately, psychological warfare is a stark reminder that modern power is not just about military might. It's about who controls the story. Who controls the narrative often controls the outcome. Recognizing this invisible battlefield is the first step toward navigating it ethically and responsibly. The lesson for all of us is clear. We need to be vigilant. Psychological warfare might be subtle, but its impact is real and lasting. Questioning what we see, demanding transparency, and thinking critically aren't optional. They are essential acts of responsible citizenship in the 21st century. Thank you so much for joining this deep dive. If you found this exploration valuable, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next investigation. Your support helps us keep these important conversations going. See you next time.